The Steve Dangle Podcast with your hosts, Steve Dangle, Adam Wilde, and Jesse Blake.
Let's go!
So we'll start the show and say Happy International Women's Day to every woman in your life. Happy International Women's Day to them. Sorry we didn't get to do the show on it, but very excited about it. The Leafs actually posted a really great thing, and I think Shireen Ahmed had something to do with the article, and I only got to top line it this morning because I was working, but I was talking about the impact of Marie-Philippe Poulin, and she made the argument, and I don't think she's wrong, that she should probably be on the currency here pretty soon. Like, if you have a Messier stamp, how do you have Marie-Philippe Poulin, who scored like 7 of the 10 last finals goals for them in the last 4 or 5 finals?
What's the age? I feel like you got to be old to get on.
Do you have to? So you have to be retired?
That's the thing. Like, she's 30.
Yeah.
Like, that's.
Are you saying that she's got 2 or 3 more Olympics left?
Yeah, I am.
I'm saying everybody on the money is as old as the money. You know.
Okay.
Yeah. Hold off on putting her on the money because she might come up with some better pictures first.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like,
there might be other moments first.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like,
all right.
You might
all right.
not have think about it. Like, in a few years, you're gonna have to make more money. Because she's not wearing enough gold medals.
It's true. She's got at least 1 more to go.
Wait, so if she gets the 5th one, does she have 4 or does she have 3?
No, because they lost out.
They lost that
2010.
2018. They
2018.
very won 2010.
Yeah, 2010.
And they very won 2014, and they won this one, so she's got 3.
So what we need her to do is get 5. So then we can call it a golden $5 bill. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So then, and then the $5 bill, by the way, for all our American listeners, our money is all colored different colors because it makes it easier. When you spread it out, American money is all green.
Mm-hmm.
And so we could change the color of the blue $5 bill to a golden $5 bill, and it could be like a special edition collector's thing.
I thought you were going to make it red. And I was like, okay, so what does the 50 get then?
Oh, no. The 50 stays red.
Gold.
50 stays red.
She'll need the Order of Canada first. Doesn't have that yet.
Okay.
I assume that'll come eventually.
Yeah.
You know, for Marie-Philippe Poulin.
This is the kind of life she's lived. Where she's like our age.
Yeah.
And we're like, okay, so let's put her on the money. Let's give her one of the highest civilian honors there is in the country.
She's going to get it. Like Hockey Hall of Fame, put her in.
Oh, easy.
Put her on the money. Give her the Order of Canada. Like, what else do you want?
That's
people
easy.
talk about
have
triple
everything.
gold. Like, I feel like that's better. Like,
Better. Triple gold is better.
it's a little bit better. It's a little bit better.
Yeah, you're right. 3 golds, 1 silver, couple world championships. No big deal.
I mean, you could count the world championships as the 5. 3 golds, 2 world championships.
But then she's gonna have 6, and then that ruins the money.
Well, we can do it
$6
right
bill.
now, and then we can update it when she gets 10.
$6 bill.
There it is.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nailed it.
Actually, you know what? That'd be kind of cool too. Just some house cleaning notes. CJ and Julian are doing an extra show for the trade deadline on Sunday, March 20th. Now, if that doesn't mean anything to you, that's fine. Sunday, March 20th, 2 days before the end of winter. Also, the day before the trade deadline. The trade deadline is on Monday, March the 21st this year. In fact, we may even, I don't know if it makes any sense for us to do our Monday show that day because it would be like
Maybe at night.
we record. Yeah.
Oh,
well,
yeah.
maybe we could do that because we record 11 to 2 or 11 to 1, depending on the day.
Oh, no, it'd be useless.
It'd be kind of stupid,
Steve,
right?
you're also not going to be available because Sportsnet is going to want you to sit in a corner and then say, "Be ready for television," and then never call.
You're going to get 40 seconds.
They haven't asked me to do that.
No. You'll get the call to sit in the corner and not be used.
Nah. No, I'll make lots of online content like I did last year, Jesse.
Mhm.
That's what I'll do.
And television will miss you.
I don't think they will.
So CJ and Julian are doing a trade deadline warm-up show. I was talking a little bit to CJ yesterday. I went on a walk and gave him a call because it's warm enough now that I can walk along the beach here in my neighborhood. And so we chatted a little bit. Well, I asked CJ I'm like, how does this actually work? Because I know it used to be a fax, right? No, the fax.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently it's not a fax anymore. But he told me some stuff about the trade deadline that you may or may not know. And as somebody who watches hockey all the time and follows hockey closely, I didn't know. So he may have a little bit of that behind the scenes about how, like, the mechanics of.
Oh, you're not going to tell us?
No, I can't tell you. It's going on the CJ show.
Yeah,
this
that's
is a tease. Just a
Get a
little
load
tickle.
of the new guy.
I know,
You're like,
right?
oh, it's not a fax anymore. I'm not telling you.
It's a
what is it?
We'll be right back after this.
then
a Bieber song.
It's a
plays.
Twitter moment, is what it is.
Can you imagine?
Or a Twitter room.
What is that stupid thing
Spaces.
that,
Is
that
that
we
what it
all
is? Twitter
signed up
Spaces?
for and shouldn't have?
Clubhouse?
That's the one.
Everybody told me Clubhouse was going to be the next big thing.
Mm-hmm.
Fart.
It was for like an hour, and then everybody realized, hey, we can steal this idea. Also, nobody really wants to do it.
Right.
So, like, Spotify has their Spotify Green Room where they just have their own thing. That's
yes,
Clubhouse.
which I believe
then-
they bought Green Room. I think Spotify Green Room
Yeah.
was an app on its own that Spotify bought.
And then
it.
they integrated with the app, and then Twitter made Twitter Spaces. So all these companies are just like, we could do this too. We don't need Clubhouse. And then Clubhouse died.
Yep.
Anyways,
Fart.
Yep.
tell us what the thing is.
I can't tell you what the thing is.
Adam, don't
Damn it.
tell him.
No, I'm
what
not
it
going to
is.
tell him. He's going to have to listen to CJ show.
Here, I'll give you this. One time, the Leafs tried to trade Jonas Höglander to the Boston Bruins, and the trade fell through because the fax didn't go through on time.
There you go. And that's why they got rid of the fax.
That's why they didn't know the facts.
So that's going to happen. And then CJ and Julian will have a Tuesday show that will wrap up the trade deadline. And with CJ, it's going to be more than, because what you get on trade deadline day, and rightly so, is from, whatever broadcast you're watching on, you're watching the trades as they happen. Who was traded? What was it for? Those are the main questions. CJ and Julian are going to give you some of, obviously they're going to break down some of the trades, why they work for some teams, why they're a little bit disastrous for others, et cetera, et cetera. But what I think is going to be interesting is some of the stories that come out of the trade deadline
Yeah.
that only CJ would have access to.
Yeah, oh man. It's which one is going to be juicier? That's a tough one. It's going to be a must listen heading into the deadline, the special Sunday show, but I want to know what the close calls were.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, if you can release those, like I bet CJ and Frege and anybody else that does that job knows, but if they were to drop that, it could put them in a bad position with whatever source they had.
The question was asked on yesterday's CJ show, or Monday CJ show. Julian asked him, hey, what was the biggest deal that went down but didn't happen? And CJ said, I'm not going to reveal that until all the parties are done. So I'm sure he knows all of these things, but we're never going to hear it until all of the people who were involved in the deals and the trades are no longer have anything on the line.
Because all the teases have been, like, not just from him, but from everyone. Like, oh, so-and-so working on something big. They're working on something big, and I get to hear about all the scouts that are scouting at the scout place. And I don't know, like with the Flyers and Avs, or Flyers and Panthers, it's like, just kiss already. Like, what do you...
The Giroux trade?
Yeah. It's all very interesting.
Owen Tippett back the other way.
Owen Tippett.
Everybody was watching him play the other night.
I feel like we haven't made a big enough deal out of the fact that Kyle Dubas essentially said, oh yeah, no, we're doing stuff.
He said they're only doing one move.
Yeah,
but what did you do the other episode where it's like, oh no, we won't hold Jake Muzzin? Yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure, Kyle.
Winky, winky.
Like, well, we're only doing one move, and he could end up doing 1,000.
He said we're done in goal, we're done in the forward group. We just need defensemen.
Also, the Gilmore trade with Calgary was one move.
That's
It involved
very
like
true.
9 people.
Yep.
Sure.
But it's one move,
Sure.
So, and also like what counts as a move? Like the Barabanov for Swomella trade last year. Does that count?
Yes.
Is that a big deal?
It's on the ticker, on the TSN ticker of the number of trades of that day. It made it go up 1.
Listen, it depends on how sick of a puppy you are. Because yesterday in the written version of 32 Thoughts, Elliot Friedman is like, Joey Duzak, who's a defenseman for the Marlies, is potentially looking for a new start. And I was like, oh, yes! What's going on there, Frege? Tell me. Give me more of the Duzak. And like
The Newzak.
That trade may never affect not just the Leafs roster, but any.
Right.
Well, and I want to see what happens.
He's got 37 points in 37 games in the AHL. So that's good.
Something like that.
Something it's like a crazy number, but he's 24. And if you're looking at Joey Duzak, you're looking at the Leafs going, yeah, I don't think I got a chance here.
I think we've already spent too much time on the Joey
No,
Duzak
no,
we
we
haven't spent
haven't.
enough.
with
no.
CJ.
To be honest,
Okay.
if there were like 10 scouts, there have been like 10 scouts at every Marlies game for like the last 3 weeks.
Sure.
Well, because the Marlies play in Toronto.
Yeah.
Like I that was another point that
You
was
play in
made. Just
Toronto.
like, you play in Toronto.
Anyway, you were saying.
With CJ, I hope Julian can ask him, and I hope he can answer. What's the difference between the Sportsnet trade deadline day and the TSN deadline day?
That's a good
CJ
question.
is one of like less than a handful of people who are going to experience at the height both of those shows.
Who has done both?
I think just him and Dreger.
Sarah Volley, because he was on it last year.
Yeah,
For TSN.
but was he live?
I
think he was live from that studio in his house, right?
Which one?
Oh, no, he wasn't.
No.
He wasn't in the room. Yeah,
Like,
I don't count it. I don't count it.
Oh, you were
it's
talking in the
different.
room.
CJ is going to be one of only people who's in both rooms.
It is a bad reference, but didn't Keenan do both? Mike Keenan as like a Mike Keenan used to do TSN, and I know he did the Sportsnet roundtable with Berkey and a couple of players.
I don't think he was on deadline day though.
I think he was. I think I remember that. And it wasn't that he was breaking trades. It was always like, "Hey, Mike, what do you think about this?" And he's like, "I'm an awful coach." And then it was like, "Wow, that's so great." Anyway, back to James Duthie. So So
I hope he can answer that question.
That's a really good
give
one.
us the insides of what's the difference between the two war rooms.
Hey, Mike, what do you think? I alienated Gretzky. Anyway, back to James Duthie.
Wow.
I think it's it's going to be fascinating. That I hope we can ask.
That's
a damn good
The
question.
breakfast in Sportsnet is good.
Is it?
That's all I
Do
can
they cater it?
Oh,
They better.
It's
There's
12
hours.
There's like
Guys.
1,000 of us, and we have to stand there all day.
Because I just remember the Jeff O'Neill where he was caught on the hot mic when they went to commercials. Like, can I get a hamburger? Do you remember
No.
that? He was
No.
starving because it was like midway through the game or the thing, and they made a big bit out of it. It was hilarious. Jeff's so funny. Like they had him. I think they were ordering lunch on like Uber Eats or something like that, and he was like, "Oh, can I get a hamburger?" Like just as they went to commercial break.
And by the way,
it was so good.
I cherished that. I still look at it as a big deal because
It is a big deal.
I worked at Leafs TV and I wrote the packs, I edited them myself, I uploaded them myself, and then I got my job at CBC doing basically the same thing. And I walk into the editing suite and they're like, and this is your editor, Dave. I'm like, my editor? What?
Mm-hmm.
And then on Saturday, I'm working one of my first shifts, someone comes around with pizza. I'm like, there's pizza?
Mm-hmm.
So basically what I'm saying is not every place caters.
Right.
And it's great. And people would complain about, oh man, it's pizza again, or oh, it's calzones again. And I was just like, you have no idea. You should do some reps at Leafs TV, my friend.
Right. Yeah, it's tough.
Which no longer exists. But
O-Dog's been peaking on these Leafs intermissions. Like, he's been hilarious. There's one moment in the quiz yesterday where he's like, I wish I could walk off set for that question.
what the nickname for the top line?
Yeah. It's real good stuff.
Yeah, he's a funny guy.
Hat tip
man.
to them, yeah.
Should we get O-Dog on?
I would love
be
to have
fun.
Odog. Can we have him on?
Yeah.
I don't know.
We follow each other on or on Twitter.
DM him.
Oh.
I work for Bell. I'm sure I could email him on the internal email thing.
You can walk up to
you
Agent
can.
Court and take your
Yeah.
hiking shoes. Get
Well,
up
it's
there.
a 10-kilometer campus, but believe it or not, that CTV TSN campus is 10
Dude,
square kilometers.
it's so large and inconvenient.
It's we did a photo shoot there, Jesse and I once, and it was like, what is this place?
It's so far out to nowhere.
It was like when you tried
Okay. Stop that for a
It's-
minute.
It's
Getting
like,
there is fine for me. But
It's
getting
like-
anywhere once I'm there
it's
is
like
hard.
a 3-year-old built it in Minecraft. It's just so stupid. The whole layout. It's terrible.
It's
ginormous.
like, honestly, like if TSN ever like disbands or whatever, it would make for a great car manufacturing
Oh,
plant.
you'd like that, wouldn't you? TSN to disband, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I
you'd
would.
like that.
Yeah, I
wouldn't you?
would.
Yeah.
Yeah, Blue Gang.
Except for what's weird about that is that you're actually Red Gang because Rogers and then Bell is Blue Gang,
Yeah.
except for their brands, which are in reverse. TSN is red, Bell is blue.
Because
Sportsnet,
We're just
yeah.
different
the
kinds of purple.
Espin,
Yeah.
the Espin connection.
Espin. That's
It's
right.
Steal all their branding.
Hey, what's the
Balls! I beat you to it. Can't sneak it in.
What's the number one place to go for male grooming?
Manscaped.
Manscaped. That's right. And what do you do when you go to manscaped.com?
Get free shipping. I beat you to it.
and
Shave your balls.
20% off, and you got to use the promo code DANGLE.
That's what it is. Sorry, I'm not.
Jess, you can tell he's new at this, eh?
You can tell I'm
Yeah,
trying.
You're just yelling.
I'm making
You're
an
not
effort.
I
really.
know. Hey, listen.
I'm contributing.
Listen.
Yeah, but by yelling,
The number one product.
save my ears.
The number one product in the package is the Lawnmower 4.0. It's the electric trimmer. It's designed to trim hair on loose skin, and that's kind of important, as you know, right? You got to look at that. And get this, the trimmer's advanced safe technology reduces cuts and nicks on your delicate balls. also has a 4,000K LED light, so you can spotlight your balls anywhere you want to go.
Yeah, the 400,000 is where you can see through them.
Translucent testes. That's what we're here for. Hey, the complete package is available for you right now at manscaped.com. Our exclusive offer is 20% off and free shipping with the code DANGLE. Again, it's 20% off, free shipping with the promo code DANGLE. Your balls. Well, thank you. You ready for an astounding stat? There are 46% more jobs being posted than before the pandemic and 44% fewer candidates applying to each one.
Man.
It's intense. So you need to find the right candidates. Well, you need to find the right candidates, and you need to hire them fast. I'm not giving you a chart.
Why?
Why not?
You have to you're just going to have to accept the stat.
The only way I consume information.
Workable can help you. Workable accelerates every step of the hiring process from the find to the hire. Workable helps you cast the widest net possible for posting jobs to all the top job boards. There's over 200 in total, just one click. It helps you evaluate and hire quickly with modern tools like video interviews and e-signatures. And Workable will help you automate repetitive tasks like scheduling interviews so you could spend more time on what's important. What's important to you, Steve?
Lactose-free ice cream.
There you go. You can spend more time on that now with Workable. Whether you're hiring your
little rum and raisin. Old man.
People act like there's bad flavors of ice cream. There aren't. Workable. We believe there are no bad flavors of ice cream.
Whether you're hiring for your coffee shop or your engineering team, Workable is exactly what you need to hire the right people fast. If you start hiring today, there is a risk-free 15-day trial. If you hire during that trial, which many do, it won't cost you a thing. Go to workable.com to start hiring. Workable is hiring made easy.
Well, Steve has something to say.
I wasn't going to say anything.
I want to say this, and I want to read this headline, and I'm going to start. Headline from The Athletic. Auston Matthews isn't just the MVP frontrunner. He may be the best player in the league right now. Maybe the best player in the league right now?
This is written by Adam W.
No, I don't
start writing for The Athletic.
I do not write for The Athletic, but Jonas Siegel does. I'm telling you guys, Auston Matthews is the best player in the league. I've been saying this for weeks. I got lit up. The only TikTok we've ever had on SDPN that went viral was me saying that Auston Matthews is better than Connor McDavid right now. Right now. Michael Bunting, he's the best player in the league. Now, Michael Bunting's a little bit...
Okay.
Michael Bunting's a little bit...
This is what Michael Bunting said about Matthews.
Yeah.
For a moment, I was like...
No, Michael Bunting is not the best player in the league. Michael Bunting is not.
He might not be the second best player on his line.
Okay.
In fact, he's not.
He's not. Don't even might.
Best goals per game seasons in the past 25 years. Can you name the top three? Name three players in the top three.
Got to be Ovechkin. Got to be Stamkos. Got to be Matthews.
I'm going to go with Matthews, Draisaitl, Ovechkin.
I'll give you the answer. And number three, Auston Matthews, 2020 and 2021, a .79 goals per game.
2 years?
Number two, Alexander Ovechkin, a .79. That's in 07-08. And number one, Auston Matthews this year in 54 games, a .80.
I didn't know we could do that.
Yeah, we can. This is what I'm saying. And I'm going to keep hitting this home. And then I'll leave you alone.
Oh.
Okay?
Nah.
Auston Matthews has 35 goals in 37 games. Mm-hmm. And Kevin Papetti pointed out on Twitter last night, and he doesn't even get to play the Leafs. It's a good tweet, right?
That's a really...
Follow Kevin. He's very funny.
Thank you for that, Kevin. That's wonderful.
From James Myrtle, Auston Matthews is now only 4 points from the NHL scoring lead.
Like in points.
In points. He leads the league in goals by 5, and he leads the league in goals by 6 at 5-on-5, which is where it's more important, if I'm going to be honest with you. Power play goals matter.
Yeah.
But it's harder at 5-on-5. Would we agree?
Yes, it's harder. It's like the a couple points I made in the LFR last night, right?
I haven't watched it yet.
I know you haven't. So basically,
I was at work this morning.
I'm joking. I'm giving you a hard time. The video was probably posted when you got up.
Probably.
Sounds like you had plenty of time.
Yeah, poor producer Drew. Yeah. Well, you can't plug it into your car on the way to work?
What's wrong with you?
Come on. What's the problem?
You're right. You know what? I'm not devoted enough to you, Steve.
No, you're not.
I'm not a good enough friend. I apologize.
No. Yeah. You jerk.
Please continue.
But, listen, Matthews is... We're going to ignore that Igor Shesterkin exists for a moment. Matthews has a really good shot at hitting 60. he's got a greater than 0 shot at the Art Ross.
Yes.
And we think he's not going to win?
He could do Art Ross and Rocket and not and tell me at that point he's not the Hart Trophy winner. And so Rangers fans have been all over me, and you guys have been hilarious. One Ranger fan reached out today. He's like, it's not about goals and assists, though. It's about where your team would be without this particular player. And that's why I think Shesterkin gets the MVP. And because it's most valuable to his team because the NHL's stupid. Remember that.
Yeah.
Okay? So I want to just, let's go through goals for and goals against.
You think the Leafs would be great without Matthews?
That's what I wanted to go through. So the Leafs have 213 goals for and 171 against. Take away 43 of those. That puts you at 180 and 171, which is roughly just about 7th in the league or in their conference.
Not bad.
No, I know.
We're in the league.
In
the
conference.
In the conference.
Yeah.
Sorry, I meant the conference.
Do
I misspoke.
league.
League? I'm kind of looking at here. You'd be about 15th in the league, which is where Vegas and Dallas are right now.
Middle of
15, 16.
It's actually not too bad.
That's because they're a good team.
Yeah.
But Auston Matthews has taken them from that to 5th in the NHL.
Man.
Right? His goal totals.
Can we compare Igor Shesterkin's numbers to Carey Price's Hart Trophy season numbers?
Oh, yeah.
This is very good. Very good.
So I pulled it up right now.
This is not where I thought you were going.
Carey Price, Hart Trophy season.
Mm-hmm.
933 save percentage.
Wow.
196 GAA. 44 wins, 16 losses, 6 OT losses.
Say that record again.
44, 16, and 6.
So basically, if the Habs scored 3 goals, it's curtains.
Mm-hmm.
That game's over.
44, 16, and 6. 933, 196. Igor Shesterkin, currently, 28, 6, and 3. 942, 193.
So
he's beaten Carey
the
in
other
the two
point,
key categories.
The other point I made in that video, you should watch it, it's great, is the MVP race in baseball between Shohei Ohtani and Vladdy Guerrero.
Mm-hmm.
It seemed absurd that one of them would lose.
Okay. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So Rangers fans and Leafs fans, I think we can meet in the middle. These are both stupid seasons.
Yep.
Like the since the year 2000, there have been 2 60-goal seasons, and Matthews might get the third, and he might not win the Hart. But this was the point that we made before the show.
So you said in the LFR that how could you win 60 goals and not win the Hart? And I brought up Steven Stamkos did it, and then I checked to see if Ovechkin did win the Hart, and he did win it the year he scored 65.
So Ovi did, but Stamkos didn't.
Stamkos did not win the Hart that year.
But 940 is so dumb. But
it is. 940 is
but
dumb.
60 goals is so dumb.
Yeah.
They're both so dumb.
Listen. If Matthews were to lose the MVP to Shesterkin, I would be really disappointed for him, but it would not be like Shesterkin didn't deserve it. And I think a lot of people think it's so weird, right? You say one player is good and they're like, what about this guy? Do you think he's shit? Obviously, Shesterkin is having a historically good year.
Lean into it. Yes, I do.
He's going. I don't. I think he's great.
Yes, I do. Civ.
I'm giving the edge to Matthews on this one because I don't think there's a player that scores like this person at all. There's just not. And to be honest with you, and people, this makes me laugh. I heard Kipper say it, and I love Kipper, and I've heard other people try to tweet it at me. They're like, but where is he in the points race? Well, first off, he's 5 points back. Second, assists matter.
Where's Shesterkin in the point race?
Yeah, exactly. He's nowhere. He's near the bottom.
Bum.
He's like number 600.
He tried to score the other night.
Yeah, he did.
If he scores that goal, he gets the MVP.
He might have to. Yeah. I mean, he's already locked down the Vezina. He has to win the Vezina. But
easy.
But people are like, well, goals don't matter more than assists. They're the same. No, they're not. You know why? Because they give out double the amount of assists that they do goals.
Right.
That alone, if you could score a goal and get 2 assists on it, assists are immediately half. Immediately half. And there's plenty of people in the league who get a bunch of assists, and I'm not trying to take away from assists again. But if you're asking me what's more important, they're not the same. Goals are more important. Goals are worth more. Auston Matthews scores them in piles. Check this out. Again, I'm going to throw this at you. Another stat. Auston Matthews recorded his 11th multi-goal game of 2021. The only player with more multi-goal outings in a season is Rick Vive with 15. He did it in 83-84. He also did it in 81-82 with 14 and 12 in 82-83. It's insane. That puts Auston Matthews. Also, he makes the top 10 most multi-goal games before the age of 25. He is in the top 10 all time behind Gretzky, Lemieux, Bossy, Ovechkin, Goulet, Richard Martin, Pat LaFontaine, Dale Halerchuk, Yeri Curry, and Jaromir Jagr. He's got 50 of them. And here's Drag Like Pull had a great tweet. Check this out. Era adjusted, if you're into this sort of thing.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
How close is Matthews' 36 goals in 37 games to Gretzky's 50 and 39 adjusted for era? If you do a quick adjustment based on league-wide goals per game, 36 and 37 today is equivalent to 49 in 39 in 1981.
Wow.
So it's not quite Gretzky.
Right.
Not quite Gretzky. Then I get it. By the way, a bunch of people added me on LinkedIn because of our ads with LinkedIn, which is super cool. Martin Kreppel from Sweden said even the Swedish reporters are saying Auston Matthews might be the best player in the world. And he sent me the article. So here's the thing, guys. The question is not right now, is Auston Matthews the best player in the world? That has been decided. Whether you like it or not, factually speaking, he's the best player in the world.
Currently.
You're going to have to, at this moment, you're going to have to prove to me and the rest of the world why he's not. Now, that's the conversation. So I'm changing the conversation from he is the best player in the world, or is he the best player in the world? The answer is yes. We know that. Established, number one. And as soon as Connor McDavid puts away his invisibility cloak, I'm sure that we'll get back to, that was for you, Edmonton. I'm sure we'll get back to it being a two-horse race. But let me throw this at you. Mm-hmm. Connor McDavid has 5 goals in his last 10. That's a lot of goals.
It sure is.
For a team that's, sometimes up and down. Sidney Crosby's got 6 in his last 10.
Hey.
Austin has 11 in his last 10.
He's on fire.
Can I here, this is separate from the conversation, but Matthews has 242 career goals in 388 games. There's a chance he hits 250 goals before he hits 400 games.
That's crazy.
That's so dumb. He's on pace. Like, if he keeps this up, and really he's only got to keep it up for a few years and then just be a consistent goal scorer for the back 9 of his career. 600 goals automatically gets you into the Hall of Fame. Every single player who has ever scored 600 goals is in the Hockey Hall of Fame. The lone exception is Jaromir Jagr, and that's because he's still playing.
And Alexander Ovechkin.
And Alexander Ovechkin because he's still playing. Mm-hmm. So we're talking about a nearly slam dunk Hall of Fame career. Where was he in the play? Guys, first of all, there's still so much time left, and I'm telling no lies. 600 goals is hockey's 3,000 hits. You're in the Hall.
Yeah.
That's it.
No question.
But I guess the conversation being this year,
right now,
is he the Hart Trophy winner?
Now.
I mean, we're witnessing a truly unique two-horse race here. And I don't know, you have a center versus a center versus a winger, even two skaters going up against each other. It's so much easier to handicap. You have, the best goal scorer in the sport taking on the best goalie in the sport. It just depends on what you value more.
And by the way, that's really exciting.
It's so exciting.
I love something like this. And I've loved every bit of debate that Rangers fans have thrown my way. I love it. Of course. This is what this is all about. This is what makes hockey fun. Debates like this. It's the best. Please keep it coming. And
Shesterkin, he's been so good that he's got to bust through the thing that all goalies have to bust through in this conversation. Mm-hmm. He only plays in 2/3 of the games.
Right.
And that's not a shot. It's just true. No goalie plays every game. There are no more Gump Worsleys.
Were you guys sent the all-time goals per game chart? / did you see the tweet?
I think I saw it, but I don't remember.
Why? Do you need it?
No. I have it up.
Okay.
Mike Bossy.
I wish I could read that.
Mario Lemieux. Cy Denny,
I think.
Yeah.
Denny.
Who played in the 30s?
Babe Dye.
30s.
Which is
number 5.
Babe Dye.
Auston Matthews.
Yeah.
He's ahead of Alexander Ovechkin's pace. He's ahead of Wayne Gretzky's pace. He's ahead of Brett Hall, Bobby Hall, every great. He's number 5 on the goals per game. If he keeps up this pace, if he can play amount of games, if he keeps up the pace, he'll pass Ovi which is insane to say. But what he's doing is historic in every sense of the word.
Wow.
Bossy was truly ridiculous. And Lemieux, we were robbed of those two players.
Mike Bossy, it pisses me off how I think his knees fell apart on him.
Or back.
Oh, it's back. Yes.
And he scored 50 until he didn't and then retired.
Yeah. And he's right to say, and I know he doesn't like Gretzky at all. Like there's this whole, you should read up, there's some stories about that.
Supposedly he's pretty crotchety.
Yeah, he's crotchety about the fact that his team did something more impressive than the 80s Oilers. Unquestionably. The Islanders dynasty is far more impressive than the Oilers dynasty when you look at one thing. And the one thing is they won 4 cups in a row.
And beat Gretzky to do it.
They beat Gretzky to do it. They beat Lafleur to do it. They beat, didn't they beat Marcel Dion? Didn't LA make it too? The Flyers made it. 81-82.
There's heat there. There's actual heat. Like those two teams, there was high competition with those two.
They didn't like each other.
No.
And I had to say, I think when Islanders fans say, like, we don't get the respect we deserve, I think they're right. 100%. I think the reason that Gretzky and the Oilers get all the attention is because, like, the Islanders were like a team. Gretzky was otherworldly, right? They didn't have, like, Bossy scored at an outrageous rate. But, you know, Gretzky had 215 points in a season. Like, it was just, there was like, it was goofy.
There's something about cheering for greatness as the underdog. And I don't quite know how to word it, so I'll use this comparison. The Red Wings, when they went to the Stanley Cup final back-to-back years against the Penguins back-to-back years, were full of greats and full of Hall of Fame careers. But I couldn't help but root for the greatness of Sidney Crosby because he was a player who, from the moment his career began, we knew we were going to be talking about him as one of the all-timers.
You hear that story in a book on Audible.
You sure can.
That the television tells me about
they have to pay us for that.
every 5 seconds.
Joe
Absolutely
Manganiello is, for some reason, is doing.
No, they have to pay us for that. Absolutely not.
They should run more of those ads. I haven't seen them enough.
No. Does he have a book? You know,
No.
He talks too much about his book.
Like
I would never.
No, you would never.
I would never.
No, not at all.
All right, go ahead.
No, but I couldn't help but cheer, and I think a lot of the hockey world couldn't help but cheer for the coronation of Sidney Crosby.
Of course.
It was something that was missing for a long time from Alexander Ovechkin's career. Do you see how much more willing we are to talk about his place in hockey history since he won the cup? His goal scoring pace has always been this dumb.
Yeah, and honestly, they did the same with LeBron until it wasn't that he won 1. It was sort of like, oh yeah, he won 2 and went to 3 finals in a row, but he did it with Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh, so it doesn't really count. Look at what Michael Jordan did, and then he went to, what did LeBron end up going to? 7 finals in a row?
8.
Yeah, 8. He had to do the one in Cleveland to get the respect.
Yes,
Like, that was the one that mattered.
That's wild.
Yeah, and
that's how high Michael Jordan set the bar.
Right now with Ovi, we wouldn't be talking about his goal record at all. We'd be talking about how does Washington win a cup for Ovi? You know, he's not going to be one of the all-time greats if he can't win. That'd be the only thing we talk about for months and years of the rest of his career. So I'm happy he has that now. We have some perspective, but it just shows how much championships mean and how if Auston Matthews doesn't win a championship, like this whole thing is irrelevant.
Well, and
Dude,
you're
he's
right.
gotta win
I think the other thing to say about that is instead of, and this is what I get in my replies now, it's not about, I keep saying he's the best player right now.
Yeah.
What I keep getting now is it's not an actual valid argument as to why he's not. Because take the Hart Trophy out of it. He's the best player right now. Now it's, yeah, but he can't make it past the first round.
That's not the point you're making.
But
Like,
they're right. He has not yet done that
Sure.
with the team. So he has to do that.
I hate that he has to wear that reputation around his neck because he struggled to score in last year's playoffs.
And because he's been a monster the rest of the time.
Dude, the 2019 series against Boston, he had 5 goals in 7 games.
Yeah, that was Willie's turn last year.
And yep. And rest of the team just sort of abandoned it.
if the Leafs don't make it out of the first round this year again, like there's some serious conversation.
Man.
Like you're allowed to criticize him for that if he doesn't make it past the first round.
Okay, but what if he does it again where he's got like 5 goals in 7 games and they lose?
I think you have
Gotta
to win.
Fuck.
Like, what are you asking?
Yo, man. Okay, look, here's the deal. Okay. So you have
Marcel Dion, bum.
You have a deal that you're working on, right? A deal. I don't know what the deal is, but you're working on it and you want this deal to happen. You're trying to buy a house. Trying to buy a house. You're real close to buying the house. It's in multiple offers.
Okay.
Because that's all the Toronto real estate market is. It's in multiple offers. And you're right down on the wire with one other buyer. And it's sort of like almost an auction setting. Like, here we go. And you put in your last bid and they put in their last bid and you lose. Man, did you put in a good effort? But did you get the house?
You don't get a house.
And that might not be your fault.
You have 0 houses.
You have 0 houses.
Yeah, you don't get most of a house.
So
you get 0 houses.
I think people have a relevant point when they say, yeah, he's never made it out of the first round though. Does it distract? Does it mean that he's not the best player in the world right now? No.
Isn't that the point you're making? That
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, but people saying that, I'm like, I get it.
All right.
I love that I've dragged us so far away from the Hart conversation.
Doesn't matter. We're chatting.
We're just chatting.
Yeah.
Just having a little chat.
Let's talk about this too, and we'll talk about the shocking game all around that both teams played last night in a minute. But the other conversation that has started to creep in is who's going to win the Calder.
Oh, baby.
And I hate to tell you this, but it's another Leaf who is at least going to be in the top 2. Detroit is making a real push for their guy.
Yeah.
Who is who, Steve?
Well, Moritz Seider and Lucas Raymond, who looked like 1 and 2 for a very long time.
So what's happened?
Let's have a conversation about feelings. And how they don't matter.
Okay.
So we had a conversation years ago about Connor McDavid versus Artemi Panarin.
Okay.
For the Calder.
Yeah.
18-year-old Connor McDavid scoring at a torrid pace despite getting his collarbone broken in the middle of the season and playing amazingly.
And he was playing with the McYakpoo line.
The McYakpoo line, and but there was also a super rookie on the Chicago Blackhawks who was 38 years old by the name of Artemi Panarin.
Mm-hmm.
And he was shooting the lights out.
Mm-hmm.
Was he shooting the lights out at the pace of Connor McDavid? Lord, no. Mm-hmm. But he put up way more points than McDavid. But, who's going to be the best player? Who's going to be the better player? Obviously, Connor McDavid. Who is the better player? Obviously, Connor McDavid. Who has had the better rookie season? It's Artemi Panarin. And people say, yeah, but my feelings say he doesn't feel like a rookie. McDavid feels like a rookie. Mm-hmm. Panarin doesn't. He played in the KHL for years. The dude is in his mid-20s. He doesn't feel like a rookie. Well, you see what I got here. It's a piece of paper with all the Calder criteria, and it doesn't actually care how you feel, is the problem.
Okay.
So, Panarin is under this age.
Mm-hmm.
He is played under this amount of games.
Mm-hmm.
And there's actually no clause in here about your feelings. So Lucas Raymond and Moritz Seider feel like rookies. They feel like they're going to be better players. Let's be honest. There's no but about it. They're going to be better players. Some might argue that they're already better players. Michael Bunting does not feel like a rookie.
No.
Which is very strange because you see here, he actually meets all of the Calder criteria.
Mm-hmm.
He's under this age. He's under this amount of games played. And regardless of how you feel, he's a Calder candidate. Seider has slowed down a little bit. Raymond has slowed down a little bit. Bunting, fuego.
Heating up.
Dude's going to hit like 60 plus points. 20's probably even going to, you know what? He's matched with 30 goals, and they're in the talking phase right now.
To backtrack on the story you just told, on how hockey narratives get taken over by the Twitter universe and the hockey fan universe, but then when it comes down to it and the writers have the vote, they usually just do the right thing, and it's not even a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Who finished second in Calder voting that year?
In the year that Panarin won it?
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't think it was McDavid.
It wasn't McDavid. It was Shane Gostisbehere.
What?
Yeah, he had a better season than Connor McDavid.
Because he was an all-star too, wasn't he?
Artemi Panarin received 83% of the votes that year. It wasn't a question. When it came down to, hey, the check is on the table, pay your bill, the writers knew what they were talking about. And they didn't listen to the Twitter narrative, McDavid, he should have won it. McDavid only got, 25 first-place votes. Shane Gostisbehere got 33 first-place votes. And Artemi Panarin got 88 first-place votes. Gostisbehere, for reference, had 17 goals, 29 assists. McDavid had 16 goals, 32 assists. And Panarin ran away with it with 30 goals, 47 assists, 77 points. He was dominant from start to finish. McDavid didn't even play most of the year. And the writers looked at it and said, yeah, this is a stupid conversation that everybody's having on Twitter, but it's not going to come into our factor when we're actually voting.
No.
So the way we remember it isn't how it went down. It wasn't a question. It was a runaway victory for Panarin. 83% of the vote.
And
McDavid finished in third in Calder voting his rookie year.
Man,
Michael Bunting is going to run away with this because he's running away with the points race in the rookie scoring. And the conversation I hear from some fans coming out of Detroit is that what Seider's doing at 19 is more impressive than Bunting at 26.
No, that's irrelevant.
I agree. Irrelevant.
You get bonus points for being younger.
No, you don't.
No, you don't.
No, you don't.
The writers aren't going to think about it like that. That's your fandom coming out, and that's how you're trying to argue.
Okay.
That's okay.
Here's the thing.
But it's not. In the end, it's going to be Bunting.
A, you're right. B, you're wrong.
Hey, and also, I just want to throw this out there. For the Detroit fans pushing for Raymond and Seider, cool. Totally get that. But they're completely ignoring Trevor Zegras.
Yep.
And they're completely ignoring Anton Lundell.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
real good
no
player.
one's talking about Anton Lundell in Florida, how he's absolutely come out and crushed it as a centerman.
Plays in Florida.
He and Zegras are the only centermen on this list. That's got to count for something, doesn't it?
Plays in Florida, though. He's getting disrespected. By the way, I have 13 missed calls from Alan asking if we've talked about Huberdeau yet.
In that little Hart Trophy conversation.
Yeah. Oh, well, I mean, that's the moose boosh. We got to get to all the other.
Leads the league in assists. He's probably a Hart Trophy candidate if he leads the league in assists. I don't know.
Man. Anyway,
I can't play defense.
Sorry for the disrespect in Florida. Lundell and Huberdeau.
No respect.
They get no respect. Hey, listen.
So Bunting, yeah.
So you say Bunting. You say he's your Calder favorite right now.
Right now, it's not the who is going to have a better career trophy.
Mm-hmm.
The career trophies are the Hall of Fame, the Hart, the Vezina, the Selke. Those are the career trophies.
Yeah, like listen, I get it. Okay, in a fantasy draft, who are you taking? Lucas Raymond, Michael Bunting.
Lucas Raymond.
Yeah. Who are you taking? Moritz Seider, Michael Bunting.
Moritz Seider.
Okay, who's had a better rookie season this year?
Michael Bunting.
Michael Bunting. Is what it is, bro. Listen, it's no disrespect. Listen, the guy's Calder eligible.
Mm-hmm.
Change the rules if you don't like it. Like we've had Calder winners in their 30s.
And that's when they changed the rules.
That's when they changed the rules, and then that wasn't good enough.
Right. You can't make up your own criteria for the award. You can't say being younger is more valuable.
But Jesse, I feel
you can't say
account for my feelings
that
on this award that means actually nothing to me.
I was on a conference call for it was OHL Rookie of the Year when I covered junior. Evgeny Grachev won. Yeah, do we all know about Evgeny Grachev?
He was my favorite.
Oh man,
God, he had a great career
when he played for the
Windsor Spitfires,
Brampton Battalion.
That's
It's
close. Within
close.
a 5-hour drive.
I want to say he was once under contract with the New York Rangers, but he was asked about it because he was 19. This was the thing. It's a trophy.
Oh yeah,
it's a trophy traditionally for
the 16,
17, is sometimes 18, 17, and on rare occasions 16. And he was 19 because he was an OHL rookie. And they asked him about it, and he's like, well, I'm not a rookie. Well, Evgeny, yes, you are. Actually. According to the criteria, you are. And his name is on that trophy forever.
Man, to me, rookie means your first year. That's all it means. I know there's an age limit in the NHL. I think that's pretty stupid. A rookie means rookie.
Yeah.
Andrew Raycroft won the Calder in his 4th NHL season.
That's actually true. Yes.
That's the thing that happened.
He never hit the bar.
Never hit the bar. Alex Nedeljkovic was nominated for the Calder last year, and he's still eligible this year. He's super not going to win it, by the way.
Yeah.
I cannot believe.
There has been, like we said, with apologies to Don
Yeah.
Waddell.
We owe all of Carolina an apology.
Oh my God.
What happened?
Also, Detroit's just not very good.
Yeah, but he was fine earlier.
Yeah, but they don't have.
Well,
all they do is allow goals. Like,
There
that's
was
their
a
thing.
brief moment this season where there could have been an argument that Detroit could have all 3 Calder nominees.
Steve.
And he evaporated.
What was the face? What was the face that you just gave me when you referred to Nedeljkovic? Just give me the face. Okay, look at the camera, give it the face. Okay, let's see what Steve's face, keep doing the face. What's Steve's face when I bring up Philip Grubauer? Does it change at all? Okay, changes a little. Okay, what about Mrazek and Campbell? Okay, not great either. All right, so listen, I wanted to switch subjects for a minute because I didn't know which was more appalling last night. Seattle's defense and goaltending or the Leafs. And Seattle's is worse, but like it's a low bar.
I have coping strategies from my therapist, and
Yeah.
I figured out how I'm going to get through this week.
Okay.
They have 4 games that do not matter. Don't. Blue Jackets.
Yep.
They won. Doesn't matter. Kraken. Won.
Doesn't matter. Yeah.
They got Arizona, the hottest team in the NHL. Coming
Nick
up.
Ritchie with 5 points in 5 games for Arizona.
Yeah, on the Coyotes. Fart.
We
Doesn't matter.
got to talk about the Phil
Fart.
Kessel thing.
Yes,
The Phil Kessel thing's the
Yeah,
coolest
I got
thing
it
in
on
the
the lineup.
world.
I got it
Yeah.
on the lineup.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Don't worry.
Yeah,
And then and Arizona last night's the one who scored 7 goals against Nadal.
Yeah,
So.
the Coyotes just gave Travis Boyd nearly $2 million a year. Fart. And the fourth one is Buffalo. And if it weren't outside, I would not care.
Buffalo's the home team for that, right?
Yeah,
That's disrespectful. I don't know.
confusing as shit.
It's in Canada, you guys.
It's very confusing. So I decided I don't care how they win. I just want them to win. Now, there is a problem with my plan. Last night, they were losing in the 3rd period, and I went, oh, I hadn't planned on this. They're playing bad and losing. Huh. But if they play bad and win, don't care. Rack up the points.
Yeah.
Just rack up the points, baby. And then when they won, they blew a what? A lead. All I remember is them ending the game with one. Woo! Woo! That's all I cared about.
Like, I mean, listen, you could get upset about them blowing another 3-1 lead, or you could look at their 5th in the NHL.
Woo! And how are they still 5th?
Because they're a really good team.
That's so through all of this.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, they got the worst goaltending since, like, ever. Columbus, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the guy, not the team. And they're still winning.
Yep.
I don't get it. It
It's
makes you
because-
wonder how good they're going to be when stuff works.
Well, it's because Auston Matthews is the best player on earth.
Hey.
Jared McCann, by the way, signed a 5-year extension with the Kraken yesterday.
They knew what they were doing with that.
Oh, yeah. That was well timed. I thought
Ron
that was
Francis.
really...
Ron Francis and Dubas are also friends. Like,
Oh, are they?
Yeah, they're buddies.
Well,
he did it on purpose.
Ron, you hunk of garbage.
It's a rare W this season for Ron Francis and the Kraken, especially for Ron Francis, who really messed up that draft. But you know what? I think that's a great contract. Jared McCann, I think
McCann.
on a Stanley Cup winning team, I think Jared McCann is a high-scoring second liner. And that's about what he's getting paid for.
Second line centers who are good these days make more than $5 million. So it's a real good deal.
Good for them.
I think it's
a really good
deal.
one, yeah. And you know what? Who wouldn't like to live in Seattle?
Yeah, that's
Like,
pretty
it's
sweet.
pretty sweet.
I don't know enough about it.
So let me ask you this.
Marissa sort of sold it. Yeah. Sure. Sounds
sure.
good.
Sure, sounds awesome. I want to throw a wild idea at you.
Mm-hmm.
See what I
Bill
did there?
Guerin?
Bill Guerin.
Oh, I was kidding. Oh,
No.
Good for you.
Michael Russo of The Athletic believes the Wild should consider acquiring defenseman Shea Weber's contract from the Montreal Canadiens to help relieve their looming cap crunch. Minnesota faces buyout penalties of $12.7 million or more in the next 3 seasons after cutting ties with Suter and Parise last summer. His $7.857 million could free up enough space for them to re-sign restricted free agent Kevin Fiala or even make a splash in free agency. Also unrestricted on the Wild this summer will be Nick Bustad and Nico Sturm, as well as Alex Goligoski and Jordy Ben. They have lost 8 of their last 10. They are still in the playoff race, but they have lost 8 of their last 10. And this is a team, objectively, that was supposed to be very good. They are currently $2.3 million over the cap ahead of the deadline. Oh, sorry. No, I'm wrong. They're under $2.3 million ahead of the deadline.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
I think that's genius.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
And they got the university kid who they're talking about trading. Jack McBain, I think is his name.
Yeah.
McBain.
They don't have him signed. So if they trade him somewhere, there has to be some sort of agreement where the other team can sign him. Else you're trading an asset that you don't have.
Okay, so Bill Guerin just got there. But those 2 buyouts were the Wild swinging for the fences. And we all said, okay, the Wild are going to be extremely good.
Yep.
And they got a window here
Yes.
until a world of hurt.
Yep.
Which is next year.
What if they whiff on the window? I know Bill Guerin just got there, but like, it's a conversation worth having. Like, listen, they could bounce back. This could just be a slump. They bounce back, and then they're contenders come playoff time. But if they drop, if they start falling into like the wild card, losing the first round, don't look good in the first round, at what point does it cost him his job?
Yeah.
You made a huge bet, and were extraordinarily wrong. That's tough. I don't know how you recover from that.
The Suter buyout at the time was like I got the Parise one. I understood that.
I was surprised he did both.
But yeah, Suter didn't make sense unless they like actually didn't want him in the dressing room. Because he's still a good player.
I think they came as a pair. I think it was 1 and 2. They lead the team.
Well,
Fair enough.
And worth noting, Suter's Minnesota Wild, not Minnesota Wild, sorry, Force of Habit, Dallas Stars.
On fire.
Yep.
They won like 5. They lost, I think, last night, but before that, I think it was like 5 in a row with Jason Robertson's back-to-back hat tricks.
What an unbelievable player. So the
Stars
Stars
up Nicky Bob
have 67 points in the second wild card spot. The Wild, 69. In the East, like we're basically just figuring out who goes where. The playoff picture is over. In the West, oh no.
So
No, we got quite a lot of work. So I was talking about the wild card picture, not actually knowing how close the race is. The Wilds could be in a wild card spot by the end of the week. They could also be in second.
The cap situation is so funky because you go up, you're adding an $8 million player who doesn't play for you. Because the buyout penalty, the dead cap, is going from $4.7 million to $12.7 million next season.
Mm-hmm.
So you're adding $8 million. But we can't say that they can't build a good team $8 million under the cap.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's enough pieces there in Minnesota that you hope that the guys who are there right now, who are playing to a playoff position, are capable of continuing this play with adding an $8 million player just against the cap.
Yeah.
So that's what I guess Bill Guerin's banking on. That they can do it just with a little less resources and money. And also,
it's a good team.
Do they have to shed I don't know what their cap situation is right now, but do they have to shed salary to fit that extra $8 million? Like, somebody have to go out because they'll be too far over if they keep the current roster?
This is why, like, capologists in the league make the money that they do. Because Friedge was talking about this in 32 Thoughts. Like, oh yeah, should they acquire Shea Weber so that they get the extra space, like you said?
Mm-hmm.
People told him, well, no, it's a pain in the ass. It's actually not worth doing.
Mm-hmm.
And he should actually go to a team trying to hit the floor instead. Okay, so then what do you do?
Mm-hmm.
Arizona, like, they probably want Shea Weber just so they don't have to pay as many people because they're not going to have as many guys on their roster. But, like,
disgrace
with Minnesota, I guess, like, Goligoski coming off the books, that's 5. Bukestad 900, Jordy Ben there's 900. Like, I guess there's
those are
enough.
Negligible.
Victor Rask coming off, but there's another buyout penalty. So you kind of reach $8 million just by default, but you also have to pay guys.
Here's why those don't count. you have to replace them with players making league minimum.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's their problem. That's
Yes.
the situation Bill Guerin has put them in, where they have to take on $8 million of just no money.
Yeah. So when you see a player making $900,000 come off the books, at best your team is saving $150,000 on the cap.
Mhm.
At best.
Because you have to have a body to play hockey.
You have to have a human being, unless your team plays shorthanded every night, which is an option.
Yeah.
You can.
I don't know.
You go 11 and 7.
It's going to be
11 and
very
5.
interesting to see this. I don't know how you wiggle your way out of this one. Now, next year we could be talking at this time, apologizing to Bill Guerin the same way we just apologized to Don Waddell.
Yeah. Next year, a couple months.
Yeah.
Zuccarello's deal doesn't go up. But Kevin Fiala needs that RFA deal you mentioned off the top. Like, that's going to be more than
And he
5.1.
is their second best player.
He's on fire.
Yeah.
All Kevin Fiala does is score goals.
They
Yeah.
better be
I love
busy
'em.
bees.
Claude Giroux has not given the green light to be traded yet. Remember that March 17th will be his 1,000th game in Philadelphia. And somebody actually messaged me and said, hey, should they do the silver stick presentation before that game, or do they have to let him play it first? And I think you have to let him play it first because he's got to take a shift.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh,
And then, yeah, we'll talk about that.
Okay,
just,
good.
just don't worry, guys.
I got excited.
I got a lineup. I
I
have
got
a lineup.
excited.
And so then the question becomes, if you're Claude Giroux, do you wait for them to do the silver stick presentation and then say you can trade me now? Because here's the problem. The NHL trade deadline is Monday the 21st. March 17th is game 1,000. Doesn't give you a lot of chance to do that.
I think I have a solution.
What's the solution?
Because, okay, you said March 17th is supposed to be his 1,000th game.
The next game is Friday, but they're in Ottawa.
Mhm.
The following game is Sunday, March 20th against the Islanders. So that's the day before the trade deadline.
Okay, I got it. Trade him to the Islanders.
Well, the Islanders don't want Claude Giroux this
No,
year.
he'll be in town. You get to have your cake and eat it too. There it is.
I think what you do.
So I get it. So he needs 4 more games to hit 1,000,
Well,
right?
Yeah, so he needs it's the Predators game on Thursday, March 17th.
So that day they could do it.
No, but he's got to play the game first. It's $999.
Okay, so
What?
we're debating as to whether he's gonna make it from
Trade him to Nashville.
the ceremony to the ice.
He has to. No, you can't trade him to Nashville because he's got to play his 1,000th game with Philly.
Right.
And then if he gives you the green light to trade him, he might say, well, I want my silver stick.
Look,
Which, you know what? At 1,000 games for the Flyers, who have been awful this year, I think he deserves. That means that he would get it in the afternoon, 2 p.m., Sunday, March 20th. The next day is the trade deadline, literally 25 hours later.
Those are 2 solutions. You could do that.
Here's what's really tough, though. We all saw Wayne Simmons' silver stick, and it had the amount of games he played with the Kings and with the Flyers and with the Devils and the Sabres and the Preds. And Giroux's stick would be the Flyers logo, 999.
I know.
You can. I think the trade letting him do the stick ceremony on the Sunday with the Flyers versus the Islanders at home, and then you trade him that day. That's a solution.
You could do that and have a deal in place.
You could 100% wait till the Monday.
So here's the issue.
Just do that.
Okay? So you got a guy who wants Giroux. Okay.
Sure.
I'm GM. I want Giroux.
Yeah.
But then I have another player who's comparable, who I'm going to now spend the assets that I'd agreed to on Giroux, and the deal disappears. Then what? If you're the Flyers, you need to get that deal.
What if he gets hurt?
What if he gets hurt?
You can sit him out. You can sit at once he hits that 1,000. The 4 games from now on the 17th versus the Preds. You can sit him out versus the Sens and the Islanders, and then you trade him on the Monday.
The other option, and I don't know how much you guys like this, is you could do the silver stick presentation at the conclusion of the Predators-Flyers game. The problem with that is the Flyers might lose that, and probably will.
You can't do ceremonies after.
You
That's
can't
not an option.
force players to spend more time in a rink than they're already committed to.
Also, the fans leaving. There's a reason you do it before.
One of the most agonizing ceremonies ever is the Leafs got their asses kicked 6-2 by the Blackhawks and then had an hour-long ceremony to say goodbye to Maple Leaf Gardens. They got killed that night and then had a ceremony after getting killed.
And then they
It
said,
was terrible.
this will be the produce aisle.
It's true.
And
I remember it as a kid and I was like, this is unnecessary.
Did they bring in the broccoli? Did they bring in the tomatoes? Did they say this will be the produce aisle? and this will be the bread.
Stop it.
Yeah,
Is that
they
what
started-
they did? That's what they did at the end of the game.
We will
Bring
put
up
the
the
tuna
seats.
by the center ice dot so people can drop tuna on the center ice.
Just
Which is what they did. I don't know if they still do it. By the way, you know there's like a chip fight between Frito-Lay and Loblaws in Ontario right now?
I'd be happy to mediate it.
Okay, so essentially Frito-Lay, which is owned by PepsiCo, wants to raise their prices, and all the other grocery stores said, sure, okay. And Loblaws, which is the biggest one in Ontario, said no. And they said, we're going to charge the original price. And they said, but then PepsiCo said, but we've actually raised the price and there are chips. And Loblaws said, well, we won't buy them. And PepsiCo said, that's fine. And so now when you go to Loblaws, all you get is President's Choice chips throughout the entire aisle. All of the, and they Frito-Lay owns everything. All the chips. So it's pretty.
Do they own Doritos?
Yeah.
Oh boy, we got problems.
Yeah. No, don't worry. You can buy it anywhere else.
Let's go somewhere else.
Shoppers Drug Mart. You can buy it at like Longo's. You can buy it at,
How's
Max Milk. Like you can buy it anywhere.
How's Sobeys? How we doing on
Sobeys fine.
Sobeys is fine.
Yeah. You can't get it at No Frills though, because No Frills is owned by Loblaws.
Why are they refusing to charge the extra price? The higher
I
price?
know that like the grocery industry is super intense about pricing. And that's all I know about it. But I know there's like huge fights going on behind the scenes. If anybody cared, at all times there's these huge like negotiations that take place when anybody wants to raise the price on their item.
The chip lobby,
Imagine it. The chip lobby would be pretty strong. Because here's the thing too. You're also potentially, I don't even know if there's still Pepsi in the stores, right? Because they could say,
yeah.
we're just not going to sell you Pepsi either.
You can't have any of our brands.
Right.
Wow.
Uncut bronze.
Uncut
Wow.
bronze. Yeah, it's crazy.
That was shoehorned.
That was
that
shoehorned, but he
that
tried.
wasn't
He tried.
relevant.
He's been looking for a few
I'm
shows.
not done my coffee yet.
He's been looking for a few shows and he found it.
I don't even remember that lady's name.
I loved Elliot Friedman's
Julia Fox?
take on Semyon Varlamov. He said it's foolish to guess what Lou Lamoriello is up to, but there is increased chatter around Semyon Varlamov. 1 year left, $5 million cap hit, $4 million in cash. He's got a no trade that covers half the NHL, so that's probably all the Canadian teams, Buffalo, and all the teams that see some snow. I would think, probably. Teams are petrified of admitting that they're actually talking to the Islanders too, which is hilarious. He said, if it happens, I'm not convinced it will be Edmonton because Edmonton is in the market for a goalie. This is an interesting idea.
Still Varlamov?
Do you want to still continue on Varlamov?
If I remember off the top of my head, Varlamov has awful numbers. So I don't know why anybody would want him.
I know.
I think he has like 3 wins on the season or something disgusting.
What?
I was tweeting about the Leafs goaltending woes, and one of the Islanders fans were like, we can give you a gently used Semyon Varlamov.
He's got a 911 save percentage.
He's 3-12-1
Yeah, the Isles suck.
The Isles do suck. They can't score. They can't score. 9-11 save percentage makes sense with the Isles.
The 2.90 GAA. He's allowing almost 3 goals a game.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, they're a bad team.
The Islanders have got to get. They
Which
literally.
is so strange.
They have to sign a goal scorer this offseason. They have to sign 2 probably.
Yeah.
I don't know how they
They
went
need like
from
60 more goals next year.
arguably the second best team in hockey over the past 2 seasons to this.
They stopped scoring.
Eberle left.
They never did.
All right. Eberle left.
Yeah,
And
Eberle-
Barzal's been injured.
Yeah.
So there's
they
your
weren't
60
good
goals.
with them.
I know,
Maybe
but-
it's just the start of the season.
But remember, like if you take any team and Eberle's good for what, 25 to 30?
Yeah.
Barzal's good for 25 to 30. Take 60 goals out of any team. Where are they going to be? And the Isles, who already didn't score, that's going to exacerbate that problem. If Barzal can get healthy and they can find another 30 goal scorer, I'm sure they'll be fine. Man, Mike Hoffman's deal is probably up. You can go sign him.
The Jordan Eberle trade tree is still one of my favorites I ever made.
Why?
I highly recommend you go watch it because it's anyone who's ever had acne,
Mm-hmm.
what do your parents tell you? Don't pop it. And the Oilers popped it and then they kept picking at it. Every trade it's like the paperclip to a house urban legend with eBay, except they started with a house. Like they just got worse and worse and worse. And like every player's career improved when they left Edmonton. It was so bad. They got Jordan Eberle for Ryan Strome. And then they got rid of Ryan Strome, who's perfectly fine in New York. And I think they got him for like Ryan Spooner. And they just, I don't know. I think now they have a paperclip.
Elliot Friedman too, and I love when journalists do this. Sometimes, and most of the time actually, people on TV and journalists in hockey I can't speak for other sports, are more creative than the general managers who run the game. Far more creative. They're the ones who actually come up with the ideas, and oftentimes the GMs are like, oh, I hadn't really thought about that. Oh, maybe I'll take that idea. This is one you should take. And this specifically pertains to PK Subban, but I think you could use this on other players as well. He said, it's going to be tough for the Devils to trade PK Subban and his $9 million cap hit. However, the actual cash this year for him is $2 million. With more than half of it already paid, does it make any sense for Subban in New Jersey to just try the same thing? Terminate the cap together. So the huge cap hit is gone. And then he can just sign wherever he wants. Now, this happens in the NBA all the time. Mm-hmm. They have a luxury to hard cap, which is where I want the NHL to go anyway. But why can't you do that? If a player says, I'll do it, and the team says, I'll do it, and the contract's expiring anyway. Now, I'm sure the NHLPA wouldn't love that at the beginning. But PK being PK, you're going to sign him for whatever money he's owed. Wouldn't that make a lot of sense?
There's two reasons the hard cap is in place for the NHL. The two reasons are to keep teams from spending stupid amounts of money and for competitive balance. Which one is more important to the league?
Spending too much money, because if they actually cared about teams being competitive with each other, they'd be more competitive with each other.
Right. So from a financial standpoint, Subban should be asking for this. This makes a ton of sense for him, and he'll probably go and get $2 million somewhere. He's worth at least that, for God's sake. From a competitive standpoint, no! All 31 other teams should be screaming bloody murder if the Devils are able to just wipe out $9 million from their cap. Absolutely not.
I think you should be able to do it. I think you should be able to. I'm not saying they can, but I think you should be able to.
I think you should be able to. Like, if the player
make the trade deadline fun again, for God's sakes.
It's okay. Did Subban sign his deal? When did he sign his deal?
He signed it on 2014-2015 season.
Okay.
PK Subban signed an 8-year, $72 million contract with the Montreal Canadiens on August 2nd, 2014.
So he signed it after they came up with the new rules after the lockout. He makes $6 million, or he already got his $6 million signing bonus from the Devils. He's got a $2 million salary, half of which is paid. Yeah, man. I mean, here's where it doesn't matter. The Devils are not competitive. If this was a contending team wiping $9 million from their cap, absolutely scream bloody murder. But it's the Devils. Who cares? Who cares? Like, that $9 million isn't going to do them any favors. It might help them accrue assets by acquiring shit deals. But you know what? You're selling me on this. This is kind of interesting.
Well, I think, again, it's less about the cap, because that New Jersey is next to a big market, but New Jersey's not a big market club.
No.
And
is the amount of money this would save them worth it?
I think it would allow PK to get onto a team where he could go and win a cup. And I look at it like this. Look at the real money on the deal. The real money in the deal for the entire season was $2 million. Every small market team, except for maybe the Coyotes, can afford that. So what are they? They're mutually terminating. This isn't a buyout. They just both walk away from each other.
Yep.
Right. So in the NBA, that's their buyout deals.
Right.
So like Boogie Cousins would get bought out by whoever.
Goran Dragic was the one that Friedge used.
Yeah. So he just bought out and now he's free. So I think, why can't you have mid-season buyouts? And then just have, if he's expiring at the end of the year, then just don't make the cap hit doesn't count.
Yeah.
Don't make your buyout penalty continue in next year if he's a UFA. Let him buy it out and pay it out.
It's him lighting something like, I don't know, $350,000 on fire,
Yeah.
but someone else will give it to him.
Right.
And if not, he can just go into podcasting. I'm sure he'd do really well at that.
Yeah.
Apparently.
I hate him. He's so good. The PK Subban podcast, I don't even know if he still does it. It was really good. I hate him.
I was on his podcast with
right.
What was the name of the kid? Jerry Bruckheimer.
That's bizarre. I forgot that was over the pandemic, wasn't it?
Did you guys do a home and home? Was he not in something of yours? For Sportsnet?
Yeah, no,
No?
I think it was for my channel.
For your channel? Okay.
Yeah.
Because we raised some money for him, did we not?
We did. No, that's not why he did it. But
Oh,
yeah.
that's cool, man.
No,
I forgot about that.
He did something with me because he wanted to boost the numbers on his channel, which is fucked.
Right.
He's got good numbers too.
If there's a situation where a player is not a trade asset and because their cap hit is too high, a team should be allowed to midseason buy out a player. Like that just seems like a reasonable thing that other leagues have, and you should just be able to terminate a contract and buy them out.
By the way,
there are very few situations in the NHL where this would make sense. This is one of them.
Yeah, and so there should be a rule for it.
Yeah.
The NFL, you just cut guys like
Well,
non-guaranteed
that's
contract.
wrong. That shouldn't happen.
Get
It
the hell out of here. We don't want you.
Yeah,
anymore.
There should be like some sort of thing where there's a deal in place, and the NHL allows it, and it protects the player, and then the PA can be happy too,
Buy
right?
out the rest of the deal.
Being a hockey fan and then learning how the NFL works is like, this
crazy.
whole league should be illegal.
Yeah, it's kind of nuts, right?
All of
like,
you.
not only they cut you, you don't even get 2 weeks severance. You're gone.
Yeah. There's a happy medium between where the NFL is and where the NHL is. Where we could just allow some rules where guys should be able to go and
The
be an
NHL
asset.
is like what happened in society before they allowed divorce. Like it's just you're just sorry, you signed the contract, you're stuck. Enjoy it. Sleep in it. It's like, okay, well, we can allow some separation, can't we?
The play is under review.
All right. I thought it was a good one.
I'll take your word for it.
Moving on here. By the way, PK, if you ever want to do a podcast, I know a great network you should join. On the last note, before we get to
That's
the
tampering.
is it?
Yeah, the Devils are going to kill you.
I don't work for the Leafs anymore, so
Oh.
yeah. Remember, I did work for the Leafs for a bit, and so
Oh.
did you. So
What's the
Neither
name
do
of the blue
Blue Line,
Blue
Sasky.
Line.
That's right. And people were like, "You're biased," and I'm like, "You have no idea how biased." They actually signed my checks. The Coyotes and Phil Kessel. Phil Kessel played one shift, and the Coyotes sent him home on a Learjet to be with his wife, who was giving birth, so his consecutive game streak would remain unbroken. It is now at 956.
Wow.
One shift in the blowout of Detroit, which was pretty cool. Apparently, all the players were kind of tapping him on the way out, and it was a really good feel-good moment. And then later on in the game, Nick Ritchie pulled Mark Stahl's hair.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Did you see that?
No.
Oh yeah, there was like a fight, and they were getting into it, and Nick Ritchie has been on a tear because, of course, you leave Toronto, you score 5 points in 5 games. Why not? He got into it with Mark Stahl, and Mark Stahl's got long hair, and there is actual mic if you want to check it out. I believe he says, "You motherfucker, you pulled my motherfucking hair."
Okay, so I've made a few snide comments about the Arizona Coyotes throughout the show. Let me just say, this rules.
It rules,
And it is absolutely the right thing to do.
Yep.
Some people might, when they talk about Phil Kessel's Iron Man streak, they might look at it and go, well, asterisk. No, he wasn't hurt, and he wasn't a healthy scratch. He's going to be with his wife for the birth of their child, and he played. It was a hard shift.
Oh yeah, he got a shot on goal.
Yeah, I was looking at him. I'm like, man, you're skating way too hard for a game you're leaving. And he tried. He could have scored.
Oh yeah.
He could have potentially
that would have been a
scored.
great story too. if he
Imagine.
scored. Oh man,
It's really, really cool of the Coyotes to do. And also, he's like the third leading scorer on the Coyotes. They essentially intentionally played shorthanded on the road and pumped the Red Wings 9-2.
yeah.
Oh, they're in trouble.
Who was the Red Wings goalie?
It had to have been both of them.
Yeah. Who was the starter? there,
Nedeljkovic allowed
Nedeljkovic?
7 goals. Yeah, I mentioned that earlier.
Yo, where did he go? Like, someone arrest the Monstars. There's an exact moment in the season. Like, people always talk about Jack Campbell's splits.
Yep.
There was a moment where some blue alien just went and just sapped all of Nedeljkovic's goaltending ability.
By the way, the Coyotes are worse this year than they were last year. Phil Kessel had 20 goals and 23 assists in 56 games last year. This year, he's got 28 assists, and 34 points, so it's a little bit less. But tell me he wouldn't be an absolutely fantastic addition to some roster going in.
And, like, basically any team.
Like who
we
couldn't benefit from Phil Kessel?
We already know that Phil Kessel on the third line eats. just eats in the playoffs. And he's going to get dealt.
You think he's going to get dealt?
Absolutely.
I hope he is. I thought he was going to get dealt last year.
I'm surprised he hasn't been dealt yet. I guess it's probably because of the cap hit.
Also, I want to throw this out there. Can you believe that 8-year deal is done? We were a podcast when it was signed.
Can you believe that Kessel, in order to pull this off, was in Detroit, played a shift, is flying to Arizona, and then is witnessing the birth of his child, and then is flying to Toronto to play the Leafs tomorrow?
Okay, well, now you give him a video tribute and you say congratulations. I know they've already given him one, but I think you give him a round of applause when that baby is born and just for him and his family. That's the classy thing to do tomorrow.
God, I love Phil.
Phil Kessel's a hero in this city. I don't think any casual
only to
fan
some
hates.
of us.
Do you think guys hate Phil? Fans hate Phil?
I think
for the wrong reasons.
I think
Yeah.
yes. I think the generation above us hates Phil Kessel.
Oh,
I think they didn't
that
like
sucks.
his attitude or perceived attitude, and I think that the Leafs were so fucking bad, and he was the only name along with Dion Phaneuf that you could pin it on. Because it's like the Leafs are bad. Who am I going to pin it on? Tim Brent? He's not going to be here next year.
It's what the Leafs did to Phil Kessel is the equivalent of trying to build a team around William Nylander.
Yeah.
He's good. He's really good. But because we made him the guy, the team was bad.
Mm-hmm.
And it's his fault somehow?
It's not his fault, too.
How is it his fault?
He was great. I mean, look at some of these numbers. I'll just run you through with the Leafs.
Please.
First season, 70 games. That's when he came off his last injury.
Shoulder surgery.
So the Leafs started that season. What did they start it before he got there?
07 and fun.
That's right. He had 55 points, 30 goals in 70 games.
He had 30 goals that year.
The next year, 2010, 2011. What do you remember about the 2010, 2011 Leafs, Steve?
They were shit.
He had 32 goals that year and 64 points. What do you remember about the 11-12 Leafs, Steve?
They were good and then were shit.
37 goals and 45 assists, 82 points. What do you remember about the 12-13 Leafs?
They were deeply flawed, but they won a lot of games, and then I can't remember how it ended.
48 games, 20 goals, 32 assists, 52 points. The 13-14 Leafs, Steve?
18-wheeler.
37 goals, again, 43 assists for 80 points. The next season, his last in Toronto, that would be the Horacek year, 25, 36, and 61. He never, ever scored. Actually, he scored one time below 30 goals, and that was his last season, and they were awful. One time.
And dude, his first...
No, that's wrong. They had the 48-game season. My apologies.
His 4 seasons in Pittsburgh are so good.
Yeah.
People only talk about the 2 playoff runs. Jesse's got his stats up right now. In the first playoff run, potentially robbed of a Calder, only 4 penalty minutes in 24 games, 22 points, 10 goals. The next year, they win the cup again. 25 games, he has 23 points. And then he doesn't do so hot in the playoffs the following 2 years, neither do the Penguins, but they're his 2 best regular seasons as a Penguin, 92 and 82 points. He's so effing good. And a lot of people are not going to like what I'm about to say.
Tell me.
When it's all said and done, there's going to be a really, really, really strong Phil Kessel Hockey Hall of Fame argument.
I'm with you on that. He's going to hit 400 goals here in the next few games.
1,000 points, 400 goals.
Yeah, he's going to hit 1,000. He's going to hit 400. He's got 2 cups, which matters big time.
And by the way, his runs to those cups, he was a major factor on those teams.
And he was a major factor. He's got 81 points in 96 career playoff games. He had 6 and 7 with the Leafs against a team he couldn't score against. Remember? He had 4 goals, including what should have been the series winner. Oh my god. Oh my god. But yeah, he's so disrespected. Even look back to his Bruins playoff stats.
Yeah.
4 games, 4 points. 11 games, 11 points.
Also, the Iron Man streak counts for the Hockey Hall of Fame. I don't care how you look at it.
It absolutely
that's a part
Hall
of your
Fame.
hockey career, and it's an accomplishment, and that should go into
No, because Patrick Marleau played a lot of games, and I didn't like that.
God.
Said
No.
weird
Underrated?
people on the internet.
the Iron Man
Underrated?
streak counts.
Underrated
to
in
your
the
resume.
Iron Man conversation is Keith Yandel has the active streak, and Phil Kessel providing or assuming he doesn't get hurt is going to blow by it because Yandel is barely hanging on to a spot right now. I believe he's like bottom 5 in the league in plus minus. He might be the worst plus minus in the entire league. He's like minus 31. Kessel, I mean, he's still a really good contributor in the NHL and should be for several years. It's literally just, will he get hurt?
Yep. He can hang around. That's not an issue.
He could, like, what's his streak? It's at 956, you said?
I don't have, Adam has the number.
That streak's
You
going to
have
hit
it?
over 1,000 games.
956.
956. There you go.
He's going to hit, he's going to be in the league for a few more years. And it, like, by the time it's all said and done, he could retire in like 2025, 2026. And the last game he missed was in 2009.
Stupid.
We also need to shout out whoever in Arizona faked all his COVID tests.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. You know what?
Come on,
Jesse?
guys.
You're right.
Let's be real.
Oh, it's just a little COVID.
Oh.
Come on. It's just a little sprinkling.
Phil didn't. No, I didn't catch Omicron at all.
You know what, Jesse? You know what? Yeah.
I just,
Yep.
I don't know.
Yeah. And they'll be like, wow, Phil, and you made it through Omicron. And you'll be like, yeah. Sure I did. That's so good.
Steve Simmons asked him first day back in Toronto on Thursday.
Oh, God.
How'd you do it? I'm just, Jesse Blake said that. I'm just looking at something else.
It's a joke.
Jesse Blake said that.
Steve doesn't like COVID.
I'm not saying, I'm just saying. You guys don't think that people would lie about that, would you? Do you?
I just think it's cool that him and Yandel avoided it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Thank you. No one ever lied. Antonio Brown knows nothing about lying about COVID.
Oh, yeah. No kidding.
Definitely got his vaccine.
Holy smokes. Okay. Hey, let's get to the press conference, shall we?
Having fun now.
Growing up, what did your favorite kind of cereal have on it?
Sugar.
That's right. What else?
Not too much sugar, because that's really spicy.
Hey, no, it upset my stomach when I have too much sugar. And that's why you can't eat this stuff anymore. When you get to be an adult, your stomach gets more sensitive. Also, you're just probably not moving as much. Junk food does not go the way that it used to.
I think this all stems from when Adam was a kid, he accidentally grabbed the cayenne pepper and put it on the cereal.
Listen,
and
Yeah.
sugar's not red.
What you need in your life is Magic Spoon. Okay? You need Magic Spoon. 0 grams of sugar, 13 to 14 grams of protein, and only 4 net grams of carbs in each serving. 140 calories a serving. It's keto-friendly. It's gluten-friendly. It's grain-free. It's soy-free. And it is low-carb. And you can build your own box. The available flavors. These are great. Cocoa, fruity frosted, peanut butter, blueberry, cinnamon, cookies and cream, and maple waffle.
Jalapeno.
Not maple. No.
There's no jalapeno?
There is no
Cookies and-
jalapeno.
Well, thank goodness
Sounds
for
so
you.
Good.
It does sound good,
which
doesn't
one?
it?
Cookies and cream.
Okay, so listen. The promo code is SDP. Go to magicspoon.com/SDP.
How do you spell SDP?
SDP.
No.
You grab a custom bundle of cereal and be sure to use our promo code. What is it again?
Magicspoon.com/SDP.
Thank you.
Jesse made me laugh.
At checkout, just save $5 off your order. Magic Spoon is so confident you'll like their product. It's backed by a 100% happiness guarantee. So if you don't like it for any reason, they'll refund your money, no questions asked. Remember, get your next delicious bowl of guilt-free cereal at magicspoon.com/SDP. Use the promo code SDP to save $5 off. Hey, do you need to get a car this year and you're terrible at negotiating for a car?
This feels pointed.
Maybe you're like Steve and they're like, hey, the cost of your car went up $1. And he said, no, I won't pay it. And they said, well, you have to. And he said, okay.
Man,
That happened.
if only I had a guy named Edmund in my corner.
That's right. It wouldn't happen with Edmunds, would it?
No.
So listen, Edmunds is long-term road tested, okay? Basically, the current car shortage means that some models are harder to find or more expensive than usual. They are highlighting the importance for you of being flexible and considering other brands, models, vehicle types, things that you might like that you hadn't even thought about. The Edmunds homepage has car rankings compiled by their review editors. From there, you can kind of pick the car that you want. You can do side-by-side comparisons. It's really cool. Over 50 years of trusted car shopping advice and price guidance all in one place. Unbiased research, reviews, and industry expertise help empower you, the car shopper, to make the right decision. And there's free online tools and dealer quotes as well that hopefully won't go up $1 after you agree to them.
You know why I like this? They have power rankings. They have Edmunds car rankings, where they have like the best car rankings, and that reminds me of sports.
That's right. They have Stephen A. Edmonds on there giving you his weekly power car rankings.
Wins above replacement.
That's right.
Dollars above loss.
It's preposterous.
Miles above replacement.
Car shopping can be overwhelming. Edmunds is here to help. Visit Edmunds.com and click on Edmunds Best Car Rankings to research and compare vehicles. That's Edmunds, EDMUNDS.com. Edmunds, we drive it like it is.
The Presser. SDP. The Steve Dangle Press Conference.
I just have something to read here from our mods at Discord. Hey, to celebrate 10,000 people on our Discord, the SDPN Discord server that is, we'll be hosting, and that's Yams and Robert will be hosting a mods cast March 25th. It will be before Jesse's stream, so around 5 p.m. It will be on Discord as a stage event. You can RSVP or just show up. In terms of who you can expect, the Discord admins, Rob, Yams, Butter, Lucy, they're all going to be there. When you join, you will be muted in on a voice call. So if you'd like to ask a question or something, you're going to be able to ask a question to the one of the mods and say hi, which is kind of neat. So they'll unmute you, you'll be able to actually ask them a question. And Yam said there is no game that night, so we are assuming that's 6:30-ish for the stream. Thus, a 5 p.m. modcast makes sense, which is kind of cool. And if they'd like to join us, also the link is on the website at sdpn.ca. So our social team kicking ass as always. And by the way,
what day is that again?
That is the I believe it's next Friday, or no, 2 Fridays from now, March 25th, and there is no NHL game that night.
March 25th.
Leafs
game.
Leafs game. Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh.
The other thing you should do is go onto the Discord server. If you're into Minecraft, somebody had the idea to create a SDPN Minecraft server.
Mm-hmm.
So we're like, none of the three of us play. Nope. But this is so, like, this is where it blows my mind, right? So they go ahead and they do this, which is cool because we're like, yeah, go ahead, that's awesome. And they created a non-playable Steve Dangle. And what he does is he walks through the Steve Dangle Podcast Minecraft zone.
Yeah.
And he just kind of says hi and looks at your house and then moves on.
Oh.
You just wander.
He just sort of you look like Eric Lindros in NHL 99. Just
it's I just walk.
Yeah.
One of my wife's friends and I went to school together, and she supposedly makes fun of the way I walk.
Really?
Oh.
Because I just sort of saunter around and look at my surroundings. I'm not
You do that.
I'm not a go to my destination guy. I'm a blue car guy.
You are.
Steve's got time. You know,
Yeah,
he's not
got
in
a
a
little
hurry.
time.
Even
Steve's
when
got
I
a little
don't.
time. Hey,
Even when I don't.
smell the roses. Steve
Yeah.
Dangle. That's a really
Well,
good point, actually.
I'm still no Adam Wilde.
What's that?
This dude was so damaged by his trip to what was this when you came back from Halifax or Calgary?
Which one? For what? What trip?
We're
What did he
driving.
say?
We're driving along the Gardiner, and you're just looking at the buildings, and you're like, "Isn't this great?"
Oh, it was Halifax.
And I was like, "No, this is the Garden. No, it's not great."
Uh-huh.
But you were just so you saw buildings, and you were like, "Man, look at them."
Let Adam be in his indie movie. Let him reminisce
Yeah,
about
it was
the
my
good
500
times.
days of summer. Thank you very much.
Stop
Thank you very
hating,
much.
Steve.
Yeah,
You're right.
I just thought it was cool. I'm like,
Yeah.
I could be broadcasting in any of those like buildings. I thought that was kind of cool.
But I'm here.
Now
Yeah.
what do you think?
Here, man, I made it. Do you know what kind of an accomplishment it was to make it to Toronto at 21 on the air?
No, I don't.
You know how hard that was?
No.
It's really fucking hard. I dropped out of 2 schools to make that happen.
Damn, it's true. You did.
I think also I want to shout out, there have been a few people on the
The
street
Kanye
lately.
doc is about Adam.
It is. It's just me in my basement making beats. A couple of times now, because people are out and walking again in Toronto because it's warming up. A couple of people, including one on Sunday right next to Jax's house, were just saying, hey, love the show and that sort of thing. So if you ever do see us on the street, please say hi. It was really nice to meet him. And he was going for a run. He's far better shape than I am. Way, way better. That's not hard, though. And he was like, yeah, I'm just about to put your show on, actually. And I didn't realize that we're a running show. You know how like people have like running playlists and running shows?
I wouldn't think we are.
I didn't think we were a running show,
No.
but apparently we're a running show.
We're a good length
Yeah.
for like a lot of things. Going to the gym,
Mhm.
running,
Grocery
driving,
shopping.
Grocery shopping.
You know what this
Yeah.
is perfect for? SDPN Fan Fridays. I want to know where people watch and listen to the show from.
Oh.
Like, are we a car driving show? Are we a gym show? Are we a you're studying show?
Send us a video of you doing it, too, and listen
Yeah.
to this thing. Not doing it, but doing what you do
not-
when you listen to the show.
Okay.
Unless it's that.
Pick the guy who came once. Or was the line from
Stop
last
it.
show.
Please don't do that.
I'm just quoting Adam from the last show.
Yeah. Anyway, shall we do the press conference? Some questions.
Yeah, I
please?
already hit the button. This one's from Winter Soldier 31 on our Discord. I thought it was a fun one. So, Steve, you're GM of the Toronto Maple Leafs. Adam, you can be Steve's AGM.
Okay.
Joe Sakic comes to you, GM of the Colorado Avalanche, and he says, Cale Makar only wants to play in Toronto.
Wow.
That's it. He's refusing to play unless he plays in Toronto. Work through me a hockey trade of fair value for both sides that'll move Cale Makar to the Toronto Maple Leafs.
First and foremost, I have leverage. You can only trade him to me.
Mm-hmm. You have a little bit of leverage,
Yeah.
but like your GMs in the NHL, so your buddies. It's a club of
No.
32, and you always do good deals with the other GMs. You never see, oh, we're gonna trade Cale Makar for a 7th. Like that's not
Ain't
how
no
it
friends,
works.
Joe. Ain't no okay.
So you got to be reasonable about this. Put this in reality.
Okay. Makar is going to be in the Norris conversation for a long time. Matthews is going to be in the Hart conversation for a long time. They're both, frankly, going to be in the Hart conversation for a long time. It's crazy that we're having such a passionate Hart talk,
And Cale Makar's not in it.
and Makar's not part of it.
Yeah.
Like he's absolutely absurd. So it's certainly not Auston Matthews. So the only thing I can offer you that's close to fair value for Cale Makar is Mitch Marner.
Sweetener with Mitch.
I might offer to retain to make the money match. And it wouldn't, that's not a lot. I don't know what percent of the contract that is, but considering I have the leverage, he only wants to come here.
It's a Duncan Keith Edmonton situation.
Yeah. So if we're talking, like, is Cale Makar the only?
It's a little different.
Yeah. Sorry. I just
In
sort
what
of let
way
that-
are we speaking?
I
I mean, I know that's how Ken Holland
That's
saw
how
it.
it works.
I know Ken Holland saw Duncan Keith and Cale Makar and said definitely the same.
So is Cale Makar the only part of this deal from the
No.
Avalanche?
No.
No, you got to make the deal
No,
work.
add pieces if
yeah.
you want more.
Yeah, definitely add more on the Avalanche side for sure.
Because no. I was just thinking because Marner for Makar, like, yes, they get this huge upgrade up front, and then there's this giant hole
You got to fill it in
on
somehow.
the back end. You know what? We're going back and forth here. We're negotiating. So I say, all right, how close are we? So I want him next week to be like, all right, here's what I want.
Oh, you want Joe Sakic to throw it back? Adam, do you want to cosplay Joe Sakic? You want to pull up the roster and offer anything?
Man. If I'm Sakic and I like it doesn't. Okay, so here's what I would say. You're doing the TikTok. So here's how I'd look at it. Matthews is the best player on the Leafs. Best player on the Avs is McKinnon.
Yep.
So we're talking about the second best player from each team.
Makar.
So here's what I want to do. I want to double down because the Avs D is pretty good. I want to double down on making the Avs better at what they're good at. So my ask is minimum Mitch Marner, but because he makes $11 million a year, the Leafs have to throw a few more things in.
Sandine? Marner and Sandine.
You got to have to get a defenseman back.
I'll throw the phone at your forehead.
Maybe you ask for a Liljegren and a pick. Because Cale Makar is going to be like, I don't know if people realize what a player this is.
Yo, Marner.
Same with
McKinnon.
Marner though. Same with fucking Marner.
Marner McKinnon.
He's been amazing
for the next half decade.
That'd be insane.
Marner
And,
McKinnon, Rantanen.
yeah, that's what you know what I mean. Like, if I have to make this deal and Cale Makar is leaving and he wants out, then it's like he's my second best player, so I'm gonna ask for your second best player. And there's a salary differentiator here. So I need a warm body to play defense, preferably somebody young. So I ask for Sandine or Liljegren. And then I get a pick as well, a high pick, a first or a second. Minimum.
See, if I'm the Leafs, I'm annoyed you even asked to help bridge that gap on D, though, because you have so many good young defensemen who can potentially help fill that void. you're asking Sam Girard to step into a bigger role, which he can. Bowen Byram is a 4th overall pick, and I think once he recovers, he's still got an amazing NHL career ahead of him. I want to counter. I want to counter. I'm offering to whatever the salary retention is. I'm offering Marner for Makar. I'll retain to make the money even. You come back to me with what you want.
You want to leave with the discard? So everybody in the press conference questions channel, come back with us as Joe Sakic in what you're offering in reply to Steve.
But please have fun with it.
Yeah.
Don't make this like, they would never do that. Obviously.
No. Curse out people's mothers.
Yeah. DM them.
Yeah. I publicly called you an asshole, and I would also like to privately
call you an asshole. Any other questions, Jesse?
Last thing. This is from Boodles01, Buffalo Sabres fan, because you can specify that on our server. More of a comment than a question. For those Leafs fans convinced that the Sabres are going to win the outdoor game on Sunday, the Sabres have never won an outdoor game.
That seals it.
Leafs fans are convinced the Sabres will win, but the Sabres fans are convinced that they will lose yet again to a road team in an outdoor game.
Yeah,
this is going to be a, one of you has to win, damn it, kind of game.
Oh, it's going to the shootout then. It's definitely going to the shootout. No one's winning because they won.
Whose pain is stronger? The Buffalo Sabres never winning an outdoor game, or the Leafs kind of going, what are they? Just one game under 500? I think they're 1-2 an outdoor game.
Buffalo Sabres fans' pain is more sadistic. Leafs fans' pain is more magical. You know what I mean? I think to get religious about it.
Okay.
I think Buffalo Sabres fans' pain is how Christians view hell. And Leafs fans' pain is how the ancient Greeks view hell. Like Tantalus and Sisyphus and stuff like that. Where, which one was it? Sisyphus was the one who had to push the rock up the hill. And he would make progress, and he'd be like, look at me. And then the rock would fall down the hill, and he would have to start again. Whereas, the other one is just burning in hellfire for all eternity, which that's the Sabres.
I
did this hit? Adam? Is this accurate?
I don't know.
Did you go to Catholic school?
I did.
You did?
I did.
You guys, you're Catholic too?
Yeah, I went to Catholic.
Did you guys?
school.
You got both?
Oh, we both feel terrible.
Yeah.
You must
Everything I've ever done is wrong.
Yeah. God, you must feel so guilty for this show.
Yeah.
Dude,
awful.
Roman Catholic Italian mother. I hate myself.
But that's what Jesus would want.
It is.
Yeah. I'm kidding, by the way, for anybody that's I'm not trying to offend anyone here.
Off the rails.
Did you confirm too? Did you do the
confirmation?
confirmation?
Yeah, I did confirmation, baptize, all that hoopla.
What's your name?
I don't have it. What do you mean?
What's your confirmation name?
I don't.
What's
think I have
that?
one.
What do you mean you don't think you have one? You have to pick a confirmation name.
I don't think we did.
Oh, well, I did. It's Paul.
Oh, you have to pick like one of the saints?
Yeah. I don't remember that.
Isn't that your middle name anyway?
It is, and that's why I did it. Some people put a lot of thought into it, and other kids treated it as a joke. So there was a kid in my class who, did you know there's a Saint Elmo?
That's funny.
There is. There's a Saint Elmo, and so he chose Elmo.
I vaguely remember that. I don't know how you remember that. Why is that an important part of your memory?
Because I remember everything. It's part of the reason I feel bad. All the time.
What were we talking about?
Doc.
So who's going to win on Sunday?
I think, by the way, are you guys going?
I am.
Are you?
Yep.
Do you want to go?
I could.
Why? Wait, what do you know on Sunday?
No.
Do you have any plans?
Did your credentials get approved?
Do you want to talk about that?
I would.
Are you going?
Are we talking about that on the show?
Well, I don't know the answer.
The NHL denied my credentials.
Oh, what a shock.
Steve owes me donuts.
I'm not surprised.
Steve owes me donuts. I'm not surprised either.
Yeah. I think they were like, those assholes? Yeah, no way.
No. I put
did they give you a reason?
No. No, not at all. They don't have to give me a reason. So, yeah. I put SDPN as the media affiliate. It didn't work.
Well, let's keep trying.
Well,
we'll try for the draft in June.
I'm going to try for like things
July.
we couldn't even attend. Like the outdoor game in Nashville.
Stop
I'm going to apply.
We couldn't attend that.
That's weird.
Oh,
though.
the GM meetings
You probably
in
get
Boca
that.
Raton? I'm going to apply.
You'll probably get that.
I don't think so.
So like that's not even an automated thing. The NHL like had to review our application and deny it.
Some person hit a button.
Uh-huh.
Keyboard. Yeah.
Interesting.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going.
Adam, do you want to go on Sunday?
Yeah. What do you have tickets?
I have an extra ticket.
Wow, really?
I have two tickets.
Let me see if I can make that work schedule wise.
If the media credential didn't work out, I get to keep the tickets. So
Wow.
I
All
got an extra ticket.
right.
You can go. One condition: you have to drive.
Oh, fucker.
Yeah.
Also, I've
You
heard
have to pick me up.
I've heard it's almost impossible to park down there because there's no parking lot and you just park in the neighborhoods nearby. And I've heard it's hell.
I don't think I'm gonna bring Makar.
Are you gonna go train it?
I haven't decided.
Oh.
We could all train down together.
Are you? Where are you
take
sitting?
The,
You're
take the
meeting?
GO train to
I don't know.
Aldershot.
Are you working?
Yeah.
It's Aldershot. That's
Aldershot Station.
Okay.
Hamilton. That's the Hamilton stop.
Yeah.
I don't know,
You
guys.
ever wake up and go fuck? Yeah, that's Aldershot.
Yeah, that's when you're supposed to get off at Clarkson and you slept through and you're in Aldershot.
Oh, all right. Well, listen.
I
We'll
did
wrap
that
it
in
up here.
Oshawa with no money and a dead phone when I lived in Scarborough. It was a bad
God.
time.
Wow. So listen, we'll wrap it up here.
A cab driver drove me home in good faith.
Oh, that's nice.
I cannot believe they agreed to do it in retrospect. I was like, please drive me home and I'll beg my parents to pay you.
Oh,
And they did. I was like, I had no other way of getting home, guys. It was the last train, too.
That's so sweet.
Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
really nice of them.
I had a buddy that slept on it was summer, but he slept outside at the GO train station because
Oh, no.
couldn't afford it.
Oh, God. Oh, my God.
And they tell you to leave, and he had left
Yeah.
and then came back. He's like, I don't, when you're 19, you have no money, and there's no way to get home. What do you do?
But leave to where?
Yeah, exactly. So
Fuck.
anyway, we'll wrap it up there. That's the end of the show. But we love you, and we will see you Friday. Woo! I just felt like saying it. That's it. Anything else to add?
Aldershot. Next stop, Aldershot.
That's my favorite one is in the UK, where it's no. What is it? It's called there's one in the UK.
The Steve Dangle Podcast. Follow the guys on Twitter at Steve_Dangle, at Adam WYLDE, and at Jesse Blake. Connection complete.